Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
We're so thrilled to have on award-winning, platinum and gold-selling album Christian rockers. I have Michael, Jeff, and Adam, the Newsboys.
Hey, my friend. How are you?
Hello.
So nice to finally get you guys on the show.
Good to be here.
And you've got new music out.
Yes.
With He Lives, and I understand you guys are going like a new method, kind of with doing more singles now instead of just the straight albums like you've done in the past.
Well, it's kind of like the old days, you know? Back in the, not that I remember that, back in the 50s and 60s, from what I've been told.
Right.
You know, because people, this music has to be fresh and forthcoming. Or, you know, we're such a Pac-Man type society these days where everybody wants to hear new stuff like instantly. So instead of putting out, you know, waiting 2 years to make a 10 or 11 song project, you put songs out, keep them going, and then as you get them, the ones that are liked the most, put together in a compilation called a LP or a record, you want to call it. Yeah. And that's where we are today. It works for us, though. Take some of the pressure off, too.
Yeah, totally. And also then you get to test out some of the music on the road, on the tour, right?
Yes, sir. That's yeah.
And see what the fans think.
And you know right away, some songs are like lead balloons, some songs you're like, that one's going to work.
Now, I can't imagine, though, you guys have many lead balloons. Obviously, 33 #1 hits over the years.
Wow.
And so many great songs that are just part of the fabric of not only Christian contemporary, but just rock in general. You know, you guys are one of those bands that are able to like blend in seamlessly with all of these different bands and artists. I mean, how does that feel?
Frankie, you're the
Yeah,
taste
well,
man.
it's actually quite humbling. You know, I know that when I moved here to Nashville in 1994, if you would have told me back then that in 2023 we'd still be doing what we love at this level, I would have been like, I don't know. At that time, I thought maybe it would last for a year or two. I'd be going back to Michigan to like finish up college or something like that. So life, you know, like I always say, like if you think you know where you're going to be in 5 years, whatever that is that you think that is, you're probably completely wrong.
Right.
And so it's been a ride. You know, there's definitely books that could be written and Netflix 10-part documentaries that could be written.
So you're saying these are coming?
But
I hope so. Yeah,
probably.
much like the music. It's like you're working on the books, the documentaries.
Yeah, but we've been fortunate, and I feel like we've been one of those bands that's really gotten in there close with our fans, and so when you do that over the course of decades, fans remember those personal experiences.
Right.
They're not so much these days, like you don't, like back in the early days we were touring so much, it was very common for us to go out and do 250 shows in a year and just meet people personally and shake their hands. And so it's even this past year of touring, getting back going after, COVID shut everything down so much, you go out on the road and like every single person that comes through the lines of meet and greets, they're like, I met you here, or you met us there, or everyone has a story now.
Right.
From 20 years ago
from
sometimes.
so long ago. And so it's cool. I think that's a big part of why we're still doing it.
Well, and also, now it's such a common phrase when we talk about Christian rock music, and there's so many incredible bands, but back when the Newsboys launched, it wasn't. There were no really mega Christian rock bands at that time, and then that you guys have been able to continue this on, over 3 decades, and to grow that following, and with the songs, and with the Newsboys United that you guys did a few years ago. It's pretty impressive. I mean, it's a lot to keep up with, and still have new music coming out today.
And the truth is, what Jeff said, we love what we do. We love our fans. We love the fact that we can have a 52-year-old mom with a 30-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old son.
Right.
It's just crazy, the demographics we reach. But we love what we do, and if we didn't, then we still wouldn't be doing it. But we are thankful and we're blessed to keep doing it.
Well, I've got to ask you too, talking about the new singles, new music coming out like every month, it's like, how are you guys writing now? Because you're not touring as heavy as you were, but you've got a mega tour that's selling out every show right now. And then as we were talking, after it completes here in the U.S., it's going to go international. So you're going to be going all over the world again. How do you find the time to write the new material and get in studio? And are you recording it on the road?
Well, like Tate said, we love to write. We love to create and make new music. And so it's just something, when we get off of a big tour, we try to take a break and go on vacation or be with our families, But then it's time to get back in, and we just, for me at least, the songs are always kind of flowing in my brain. I'm always kind of in that mode.
Right.
And so we're blessed to be able to write with some of the best writers in Nashville and LA and New York, and to get to collab with these guys who are just brilliant. And so we're always just chasing that song that connects with people, that helps people, and also the live show. We try to build a live show. On this last tour, we're playing 27, 28 songs that draws people in, that keeps people coming back to hear songs that they love, plus new songs that hopefully they'll fall in love with, and taking it not just to the U.S. but to the world.
Well, and do you feel like kind of at this point with having such a huge list of albums, I think it's like 23 albums in all, and do you feel like it's hard to like pick what songs? I mean, do you guys change it up like with every show, or do you have like a pretty set list? I mean, how does it work?
Yeah, you do. I mean, even this last tour, we were thinking about, what are we going to do? Because people come to your shows from all different generations, all different walks of life. So it's like we really wanted to put together a show that like covered everything in a comprehensive way. So this last tour that we went on, we barely had any opening act or anything, and went right on stage, right at the top of the show. Most people are, like sitting around for a couple hours trying to get through opening acts or whatever.
We're not beating up opening acts.
No, we love our opening acts. But we just
But
we decided to do something different.
Yeah.
And so like the fans were kind of shocked because right at like 7:15,
You're the
here we
Newsboys,
come
yeah.
out on stage, and played for till 10, like 2.5 hours.
That's
and so
amazing. And of course, never ran out of songs.
Yeah.
no, I mean, we could do we have so many songs, we could do a full rock set, a full acoustic set, and a full worship set all in the same show. And I think it was really cool. It was the first time we really tried to do something like that. And by the end of the show, people were just got everything they ever could have wanted, and it felt really cool.
But you guys are, and you put that so well to where you're able to do that with, with the worship music and with the acoustic and with the just straight ahead rock and roll with a Christian message. You guys are able to pull that all out.
Yeah. Well, Jeff's our band director, and he usually puts a set list together, and the way the show flows, I lean on him for that. And if it's not right, we scream and fight, and we get it right. but it's mostly right every time.
Is that at the point where you throw the M&Ms at him?
Pretty much.
It's like, I'm not doing that.
Peanut M&Ms, more peanut.
the red ones.
The show started out with a lot of our pop hits, the big up, the boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
We broke it down to an acoustic set that we can add. We have now because Adam, our latest member, as of a few months ago.
Right. Since February.
Since February, he also plays guitar and bass and sings. So now it takes some of the pressure off of me, and we can do an acoustic set.
Yeah.
So we have that in the middle, and then we end up with a massive praise worship set, which just, if you don't like something, just wait a minute, it'll change.
Right. It's like the weather in Nashville.
Exactly right.
Yeah, exactly.
The show is fantastic. I say that as objectively as I can. I'm so proud, and I love the new setup.
Well, and to me, the acoustic stuff too, particularly with your guys' songs, really gives you the chance to hear the lyrics.
You hear
and
the voices.
Yes.
Yep.
I like it because the voices ride so well over the top then, and nothing wrong with the full band and everything like that, but I don't know, I like the acoustic, I hate to say unplugged kind of feel.
That's what it is.
It really feels that way though in that B section. We play 8 songs stripped down where Jody and I are on acoustics, and it's just Duncan's even playing a smaller kid. He's not spinning around for that set, and so it's just
So that way he's not as busy.
yeah, right.
So
but it's like I love going to acoustic shows as well and getting to hear the songs in the rawest form.
Right.
And it's kind of a sing along because we throw it back to some of the old songs and just let the crowd sing, and it's such a cool moment.
I think those intimate ones are the best.
No two ways about it.
Because then it's like, you feel like you're really hanging with the band.
Yeah.
And, and maybe also you guys are able to take some of the songs that are so well known and retool them.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So that it's like it's the same song, but maybe you're hearing it in a different way.
Totally. Now that we're in our 50s, we drop the keys, a couple half steps.
You're pulling an Elton John. We never did
I don't
that.
remember it being that low before.
It's in
What's
G
going
now?
on, guys? Yeah.
It takes going, wait a minute. I know, right? Yeah, I can't capo my voice.
Right. No, but you
That's true.
get to tell the stories too. A lot of people are, they love hearing about how a song came about or
Yeah,
where you
they
were
sure
at that
do.
time or what, there's so many of those stories now too.
Well, and I think what's so impressive with the Newsboys to me musically and knowing your history and from the beginning through today is that even with He Lives and with the new songs you guys are working on to release, you guys aren't mailing it in.
No.
The music is powerful and it's got a message and it's just well done music.
Yeah. Well,
and I think back in the early days, sometimes it was like, you know, and my perspective was it was more about the lyrics and less about the music. And you guys have always made it about the music as well.
Yeah. Well, you can't really mail it in and continue to operate as a professional musician or a professional at anything. You know what I mean? And I think with music, the thing that's cool and also scary about it is that like every time you have a new record or every year or two, you almost have to like reapply for your own job. Because everyone's kind of watching and they're like, you know, why should I be interested in this band anymore? What is attractive about that? And, like we were very fortunate, you know, with God's Not Dead era. That was something that took off to a level which we never ever
thought.
Well, and how many
happened.
things, you know, God's Not Dead that launched
Right.
out of it with
Crazy.
TV and film and all this stuff.
And
It's like
books.
books. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like going, that was like a seed
Yeah.
that grew an oak
Oh,
tree.
it was incredible. And so you never know what that next thing is going to be, but it's never going to be the same thing. You know, and so there's like a balance. You want to be respectful to the catalog and to the fans that are with you from all those different eras, but you don't just want to rest on one thing because then.
Well, and like Tate was saying too, especially with the different generational audiences that you guys are drawing in now, to where you've got, you know, teenagers, you got young kids, and you got grandmas and grandpas. The kids are probably wanting more of the newer music.
No question.
Yeah.
You know, because they're in tune with that. I know
Yeah.
my daughter, she'll, you know, pull up a song and go, wow, we got to do this one at church. I'm like, okay, who does this?
Yeah.
Whereas I know the older catalog stuff.
Yeah. It's weird too, though, because like I have 4 daughters. They're 13 and under, and so now they're kind of digging back into Dad's old catalog. And, like I'll wake up in the morning, and like one of my kids who's like 7 is singing "Breakfast," the song that was like 20 years before she was born. And she's like, "Yeah, I love that song," and I'm like, "Wow, that's crazy. I never would have thought I'd see that in my lifetime."
You know, the way the younger people, you know, find music now is so different than how we did. Because I remember, you know, back in the day when you'd hear it on the radio or your friends would tell you and all this stuff. Now it's like through social media, I don't know how they find it. And suddenly they come up with songs, like you said, that are 20 or 30 years old.
Yeah.
To them, it's new. It's, you know, it's timeless music.
That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
You know, just being able to find, but also it has to be fun for you guys when you're playing these, and you've got young people as well as, you know, people our age and older singing them back to you.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah,
cool.
there's nothing like it whenever you're playing songs that are, you know, from decades ago, and people are singing their lungs out because it's like they remember that moment when you first heard that song or where you were when you were listening to that song. And just immediately transports you back into those great memories, and they get to relive that, and we get to live it with them every night on stage.
Well, and how does it feel too, being the newest member now? I mean, have you blended in? You know, it's like, you know,
You'll have to ask these guys.
Is
I
Tate
don't
like
know, but,
hassling you a bunch? I mean, you know,
I have some every now and then. I'm on them with the vocal side of things.
It's been shockingly easy because I've known these guys for 15 years. I did a tour with these guys with my old
It's
band,
pretty seamless to
like
join
in
together.
07, and so we've known each other for a long time, and I've been out on the road with them for several years, and so it was about as seamless as it can get, adding in. And Tate and I have done some private events together where I've played acoustic and accompanied him doing some stuff.
And you know he's good because Jeff Frankenstein, our band director, thinks, well, he has an issue with bass players usually. And Adam plays guitar and bass. We were like, for the first time in a long time, I actually heard, you know, not Jeff doing bass on keys, but a bass player in my ears that was like holding it down. I thought, okay. That's still a big reason why he's here at this moment. Because Jeff had let him go yet.
Yeah, Jeff getting the big 2 thumbs up.
Well, I don't know about that, but like at least we're still here, so it's all good.
No, Adam's been a guy who's been our friend for so long. I mean, like almost, met Adam for the first time maybe almost 20 years ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, we've all kind of been friends and family for a long time. So it's not like, you know, anything big or shocking. It's just like, oh, it's Adam, it's our
The
friend.
best part about the guy's not dead weight, seriously. In the band, guitar, bass, sings, it's like, it's great.
He's like Barbara Mandrell.
Yeah.
Both the Newsboys.
Well,
That was the first time I've ever been compared to Barbara Mandrell. I'll take it. I like it. Let's go.
Because he can switch around. You know, especially if he does it like if Jeff has him doing it like mid-song. Okay. You know, and all of a sudden he's like back on drums. It's like,
or
what the
if
heck?
Jody cuts his thumb off
Cutting ribs.
cutting ribs, we've got a backup.
Adam recognizes as a bass player, a guitar player, a singer, and Barbara Mandrell.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time before he picks up banjo and mandolin.
Hey, You never know. The Newsboys country record.
Yeah,
coming up.
exactly. Hey,
Oh, boy.
come on, there's a new idea.
Oh,
you know?
dear.
Yeah, it's like,
That
you
could
take-
happen.
I know, right?
That could happen. Don't,
Yeah, it's out in the atmosphere.
It's out there
I live
now.
in Nashville long enough, it just kind of seeps
It
in.
does,
true.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's so funny. Well, I've got to bring up, guys, then, obviously with He Lives out now, and, with more singles coming out, do we have any, is it going to be every month with the new songs? What's the plan? What's the strategy?
We're in the kitchen cooking stuff up. We're writing.
Not using sharp knives, though.
Now you're jumping out. No, spatulas. And, you never know what you're going to get. It's like people say, when's it coming out? Well, I always say when we get done, because it takes time. Art takes time. But we're trying to keep it coming.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's got to be fun, though.
People don't realize the process behind songwriting too. It's like, it's not like you. Sometimes you would go in and you just
there it
hit
is.
it, and there it is real
Right.
quick. There's been songs like that. Shine back in the old days was an example.
Yeah.
Song that was written in like 5 minutes
Yeah.
or something like that. But most of the time, it's like the percentages are small. So like, you might write 200, and out of those 100 or 200, there might be 1 or 2 good ones.
Well,
So
the problem is,
More
too,
classic
you,
ones,
yeah.
you guys set the bar too high. It's like going, before it's like, you remember the old albums, you buy them, it's like maybe 2 or 3 good songs.
That's so true.
And then the
It's
rest
true.
is like, meh. And it's like now when you have like all these hits, it's like, okay, well we got to have
better be
something
a hit.
strong.
Well, the
Yeah.
pressure putting one single out too. It's like, okay, this is not them choosing 3 or 4 songs. This is a single, so
Right.
you better come with it every time you put a single out.
Yeah. It's almost like you're in competition against yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, especially with social media and with like
Yeah.
we're talking about how people listen and grab the songs, and I know you still get a lot of radio play.
Yeah.
But also now you get added to all these playlists.
Yeah.
And what other bands they're pairing you with.
But we've got a great team. Like the idea starts, with one of us, and we get to write either together or with some great writers. We've got a great team at Capitol
Right.
that everything has to go through our management company. It just like there's a bunch of checks along
Right,
the way.
right.
Like, does this song pass through all these different filters, and then we get to present it to the public. But I think with all those voices speaking into it, you do get your best shot at having the best song. And we're always chasing that. We're always trying to get better, trying to write better songs, trying to do a better show. Like, we're always just trying to pursue.
And obviously
that.
you're achieving it.
Well, hopefully.
Some might say, yeah.
Hopefully.
The people seem to be pretty happy. But I will say this with Newsboys. What I love about Newsboys, having that wide base and that demographic reach.
Right.
We can put out a song like A God's Not Dead, and it wakes up, the stragglers that have been hanging them on in the cobwebs,
Right.
in the shadows for years. They go, oh my gosh, that's Newsboys, as opposed to putting a song out and just kind of, just a small, like, people, sect people hear it. Newsboys has a massive fan base.
Yes.
So it's up to us, and it inspires me more to write better songs, write songs that connect even more so, because those are all potential listeners. And
Right. I think, it's
concert
just
goers.
not only, and certainly not slighting any of that audience, it's not only a contemporary Christian audience or a Christian rock audience, it's all.
It's crazy. Like, you could walk into pretty much any public space or
Yep.
restaurant and ask somebody, like, oh, do you know the band Newsboys? And someone will say, like, oh yeah, my mom loves those guys,
Yeah.
And but it's like, it's the weirdest thing. Like, we can go about except for Tate, but like, most of us can go about our lives, in Nashville or wherever, and be like completely undetected. But like,
And that is very a Nashville thing too,
It totally
which I
is.
think you
Yeah.
appreciate, because
Yeah.
you can't do that everywhere. I mean,
right.
Tate,
No.
Tate can't do it anywhere.
No.
But but most people, it's like you can't. In Nashville,
Yeah.
you can just be yourself, and everybody's like going, "Hey, well, you're getting a Starbucks or whatever."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean,
The movie helped a lot, too.
At a show where like the biggest rock stars of all time, and then at home life or in Nashville or wherever, we have our like totally normal lives.
The biggest nerds of all time.
Yeah, exactly.
But when God's Not Dead came out, the movie God's Not Dead came out.
Right.
It was number 3 or 4, I think, in the country.
Right.
And that impacted, like, we can play for 20 years. 10,000 people a night, 5,000 people a night. The crowd, that movie hit a base that was millions.
Right.
Over the time it was
And
out.
a large base.
Yeah, large base. So that was part of the reason, like, you can ask somebody at McDonald's who knew what Newsboys is.
Yeah.
I tell you, oh, we know that.
You guys have the best photography too. It's like even when I get your press releases, I'm like going, "Wow!" It's like you guys look like rock stars on whether it's the album covers, whether it's the art, everything. It's like going, "Oh yeah," and they do Christian music. That's a good place to be.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, I want to bring this up too for our viewers who obviously already know the Newsboys, listen to you guys and everything else, but I want to make sure for the tour to get their tickets early because you guys are selling out.
Yes.
And this is like a big, big tour, right?
Yep.
With the Experience tour.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And So where should they go with website, social media, everything for the Newsboys?
Newsboys.com. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's a good
got
place.
everything.
Simple and plain.
You can check out the tour. You can get your tickets there. You can hear the new music, all that kind of stuff.
So are there going to be more music videos and new merch too?
There's a lot of stuff in the works, for the near future. We're going to be busy.
We're a visual band. We're a merch band. We are a tangible band. We love doing it, man.
You're almost going to have another film or documentary now. Isn't it about time?
It's about time for
I
that.
think that's a good idea.
You think Fox will do it?
Totally. I know some people.
Fox, say yes, and we are there. We love you, Fox.
How can you go wrong with that? But I wanted to say too, it's so interesting to me hearing your guys' music in so many mainstream places.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's in TV shows and other movies and stuff. And it's got to strike you as odd when you guys are like at home,
Yeah.
you know, and hanging out with family or friends, and you hear your song that way. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, that's us.
Yeah, I was watching a particular Fox show. I won't say which one time, and as the music was, as we go to commercial break, they bumped one of our songs. I thought, yeah, that's my song, dog. But it's pretty flattering. Yeah, it's pretty
It is
cool.
fun.
It's
I mean,
fun.
what a rush. And you guys are still just doing incredible. The new music sounds as fresh and new as the stuff you guys did over the years.
That's the goal. That is always the goal.
Which is amazing. I can't wait to hear the next single. So I'm going to have to get on and follow you guys with everything. I think I already do.
We got a lot of songs in the hopper.
Yes, we
that
do. That we're excited
I just
about.
Cannot wait for everybody to hear. Like it's very exciting.
And so Jeff's going to have to really get to work on the arrangement of the sets.
Yeah.
Or we'll
Yeah.
just, people are just gonna have to stay later. We're just gonna play more songs.
I feel a 4-hour trip instead of
Obviously,
3.
Tate likes it too, where it's like there's no opener. It's like we are our opener.
Yeah, right?
Kind of are, yeah.
There's something like 28 songs this last
Yeah,
this tour.
something
Yeah.
like that.
And what's crazy, dude, is like, I mean, obviously, I think with people like Paul McCartney, 3-hour shows.
Right.
What's the guy like 75, 80?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah. So you guys have longevity.
Oh yeah, 90-minute
You're
shows,
young.
man. 2-hour shows, no more 90 minutes.
Well, I know nobody's leaving because
right.
you guys keep bringing the hits, and particularly with how you're mixing the songs and the sets. And I mean, it's just such great music, and it hits you right in the heart. So be sure and follow them. Go to a show. You got to see them live. The Newsboys.
We are, I would say we are a live band for sure.
Yes, totally.
We love the live show.
Yeah, and that's just so that Adam can switch instruments, right?
That's true too.
Yeah, and
a
the
lot of
spinning
that.
drums.
Yeah. Spinning drums is the thing, yeah. We had that first, by the way, too.
See?
I think Motley Crue copied us.
Oh my gosh, that's not even fair. Well, you got to go see them live, though. The Newsboys are incredible. Be sure and check out their new single, He Lives. There's going to be more songs coming out, and you just can't get enough of the Newsboys. Thanks for coming on the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.